Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afrer, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of Your Divine Uniqueness. So happy to connect with you again. And also happy that Denise Ricard is back on the show. She's been joining us in the last couple of years, I think every season. And yes, since the first time we connected, I remember it was 2022, I had a session with her and really loved my experience with her. It was very profound, and also the information and how she explains the synchronicities I was having. It was very inspiring, and also I really loved the messages, the presentations that she gave us throughout these couple of years, um, to remember our true self, and also to know how we can bring more of our gifts, understand them, and um, also step into a new way of living as creators, as sovereign beings. And yeah, so very very excited that she's back. And for those of you who are new to her, she is the Galactic Numerologist, light language sacred codes transmitter, divine channel, and intuitive soul path coach. And the subject today is how to know that you know, trusting your inner guidance. And yeah, that's I think it's I believe it's a very important subject. And also when she sent it to me the first time, I really felt connected to it. It's something that is very relevant to me right now, connecting more deeper to my inner guidance. And also I feel this is something that the energies are helping us as a collective to step into that and to have more trust in the process, trust the universe that it got our back, and connect more deeper to the guidance that we receive. And also there will be numerology included also in the call, so that will make it even more powerful. So, and also as always, we'll have a Q&A where you can ask Denise your questions. So if you are on Zoom, you can raise your hand by pressing reactions, then raise hand. And if you are on the phone, you can raise your hand by pressing *9. And also you can type your questions on the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. And yeah, so with that, Denise, welcome back to the show. Very happy to have you with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And I'm so happy to be here again with you, Mansaf, and I see some familiar faces. Well, I may not see the faces, but I see some familiar names here. And for all of those who are returning and who are new, just welcome. And if you're tuning in now or at another now moment, just knowing that all of these energies that are coming through are in the perfect timing for you. And I love what you're saying, Mansaf, about even just how there's a shift in the collective, and because you've been doing this, like you've seen these shifts because you've been doing this over the years, right? So there's and it's almost like what I've been seeing is the trajectory is even it's quicker as time is collapsing. I mean, here we are, happy February, everyone. We're in the second month already. And yeah, it's and two in galactic numerology is the energy of knowing. And what you brought in, as what we're going to talk about today is that you know what you know and how to know that you know what you know. That might sound funny, but it is everything that's within us. So we're going to talk about that divine guidance, and really we're going to open it up and have a lot of interaction today and talk about specific examples because and if you're thinking about asking and you're not quite sure, then we're going to encourage you to ask because uh, there's always a higher purpose. So everybody who's here today or who's tuning in at another moment is here because it's part of a higher energy, and it's here to help us grow. So if you feel like you have a question, then and you feel like it would be helpful to you, it may also be helpful to others. So we'll have that interaction as well.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's start talking about inner guidance or the divine guidance, and why is it important, especially now in this time.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna jump right in with the numerology because it's so synchronistic and perfect because in February is the second year of the month, and in galactic numerology, as I mentioned, it's the energy of knowing, and it's the energy of knowing from a place of wholeness. And that's what all the galactic numbers, all their qualities, the quality of each number, it's about that quality coming from wholeness. And it's interesting because two, we're beginning to see more of that because two, there's two of something, like you could see for example, and it's twos coming together as one, yet retaining their own sovereignty. Like that's where we're headed. So two in traditional numerology, which traditional numerology talks about it's more looking at it from uh, two different sides, like a duality. So two represents opposites. And so we grew up with all of the systems, all of our educational systems, our religious beliefs, just in general, the belief systems of the collective to be that there is either bad or good, or right or wrong. And that's what shapes all of our experiences. And what is happening now, what the shift that's happening now that's really helping us to, and this is all coming in because so is my cat. She always likes to come in with her beautiful, loving cat energy, her fierce love energy, like cats are. And so there's that going from almost like the yin yang symbol is a perfect example because it's contained in a circle of wholeness, and yet there's the yin and the yang, and each side of that represents itself. It represents equality and wholeness, and then they come together and they work together. So this is what's happening, especially more now on the Earth Star with the divine feminine. We've been hearing about the divine feminine, the divine mother energy pouring in more and more and more on the Earth Star, and it's coming more into the awareness. And what that's doing is bringing that balance. So it's not that the divine feminine is coming in to overtake the divine masculine. It's all about being in unity. So in those twos, it would be the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and then each in their own balanced, sovereign way of being, and then coming together in unity. And so when we talk about our knowing, our inner knowing, there is there's the knowing from our hearts, from what's coming from within, from our divine self, because and we've talked about this before, right? We're consciousness in a physical body and living in a physical world. So we have the heart, and we have the mind, and we have the knowing that's coming from within, and then we have the knowing that is coming from the outside world. And what we're being asked to, or it's not even being asked. It's more of having an awareness of coming more from within instead of seeking answers outside of yourself. And sometimes there may be, when you go within, something may say you're going to receive the answer from like in your life, right? So there's, it's not that, it's not canceling out the outside world, because the outside world is what we're here to experience. The outside world is our experience. And so when we're coming from that true knowing within, then when something is happening in the outside as we're living our life and our experience, then we can discern, because that's a big thing, is discernment. Is that in resonance with what I'm feeling or with what I'm knowing inside? And so much of the work that we've all been doing is to release those constraints, and so much of well, all of the evolution that each one of us has been up to, as well as all of the beautiful great cosmic beings, the ascended masters, the angels, the earth, the elemental beings, like all of the assistants within our galaxy, the planets, the moon, the sun, all of that is, it's all coming together to help raise that frequency and to shed. And that's what we've like all been doing these past couple of years, is really in a concentrated way shedding those old belief systems, because a belief in something is something that your mind takes on. If it's a human belief from outside of you, it's something that the mental mind takes on. And then that can be in conflict with what you are experiencing. I'm just thrilled to be speaking with all of you today, and having you ask questions and bring forth what you're noticing, as far as when you're getting those inner nudgings, which is the inner guidance, and then the nudging is to take action. When you're getting that that inner knowing, maybe to take an action on something, um, like, how are you noticing? I'd like to even open that up now, Mansaf. Maybe you even want to answer for yourself, or what you've been noticing. What is it that you're noticing when you are making a decision, and what's coming up? What are you noticing is coming up? Because there's going to be, you're going to feel the conflict if um, you're wanting to take an action on something, and it feels like there's something stopping you from doing that, even though you know, even though you know. So the question, I guess, would be, um, what are you noticing as you are feeling those urges stronger and stronger to really be your true self? Because I think even in this, we're we've we've already been to that point of knowing that our inner knowing is our compass, it's our guidance system, and then it's navigating with that. So I'd love to open up to see if there's any awarenesses there, or any questions about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, everyone, you can type your questions or also raise your hand. For me, personally, is when I receive, especially recently, I've been receiving some guidance, and but it didn't make sense to follow that path or take the step. I was feeling maybe I'm not ready, maybe it's not the good timing, but the guidance was insisting, and it felt more like supportive, gentle. It's not a guidance that is trying to be forced on me. But once I follow it, it just makes sense, and the support comes from in unexpected ways after that. And also the energies feels much less heavier than before, because when we try to make sense of everything, it's like we make the energy more heavy, and we feel that in our body as well.
That is so key. Thank you for bringing that in, Mansaf, because that it's almost I keep hearing, baby steps, and it doesn't have to be a baby step, it can be a leap. And yet, as you were saying, like just getting the awareness and then maybe wondering about it, and then so if you're wondering, you just go back in, and then it I love that it's more gentle. It's a gentle nudging. It's not going to be anything forceful. If it feels forceful, that may be something from an old belief system that is triggering something to say, well, you better act on this right now, or else it's going to be too late, or else um, something will happen in that relationship, or else you will lose the job opportunity, or that there's going to be, if it feels forced, then that's time. That's also time to go back in and say, why is it feeling this way? What's coming up about this? Because these are also learning experiences. And the thing is that when we go through it, like you even Montstuff, you brought through that you got a knowing, and then you were wondering about it, but then you went back in, and then you took the action on it. It felt a very natural and gentle, and then there you are. It's like, and then when you look back, it's like, and it's not like you're looking back, but when you're observing, I guess is what is coming here. When you observe, you can see the reason that it happened, the reason that that whole experience happened. Because as you're getting guidance from your that inner self, from your higher self, from your inner guidance, as you're getting that, that is moving you on your life path. And so if there's resistance coming up, or if there is uncertainty, or any of those things, it's a learning experience, because then once you go back in and you ask for more guidance, you can always ask for nothing says in the world that you have to just jump on anything. That would only come from an outside belief, or a belief that you've taken on in the mind. So that's that's key. So thank you for bringing all that in, Mansap.
Yeah, thank you. And maybe can unmute Linda, and if she has a question.
Hi, Denise.
Hi, Linda.
How are you?
I am so happy to be here. How are you?
I'm very happy that you're here as well. Um, my intuition does not seem to always kick in. I'd like it to be a little more prevalent. I was given something yesterday that didn't ring as true as I would like to have felt that it was for me. I just don't know. I've been concentrating most of my life on trying to help others heal themselves in many modalities. Been since working a little bit with sound energy and some of the, especially zero point. I love zero point. Um, so when they gave me this other thing yesterday, I'm going, I didn't really care for it. So do you have any guidance as to where the guides wish me to be as far
Sweet.
as
Mhm.
as far as a career is concerned? Although I don't need one, but
So when you said that they said, what were you getting?
They
What
were telling me
information?
about children, and I'm always surrounded by children, but they don't usually come into my space except very limited times of the year. I get to see them. They come and they go, even their grandchildren, but there's not the connection that I've ever really felt a lot about, except for maybe four of them, and that's it. Um, but they keep saying that I should go read to children. Well, when you're cut off from that and the other ones are too old for that, it kind of leaves you out of the loop.
Okay. And so you're saying that you're getting this from your inner guidance is what you're saying, or from your
From
spiritual guide.
somebody who said that that's what I was supposed to do, and I'm going, it just didn't ring true for me.
Oh, right. Okay. So that's a perfect example, Linda, of saying, so here, this is what we're all about. That's what we're all about, living our lives on the earth, is that we were creator beings. So that's what you're feeling right now, right? Is this creativity, and it's like not coming from any type of duality where, well, I have to work, so I have to do this. And so in you're looking, and so if something on the outside says you can do it this, like work with children, and that's not resonating with you, then it's a choice point. And you could say, that's not resonating with me. So then you can go back in and say, what is it that, because everything, like, we're meant to be ourselves first. So the way that we contribute to the world is not to fill a void somewhere else out in the world. It is to express what is within ourselves. And then everyone that is looking for that energy or that inspiration, uh, is drawn to you. So it always starts on the inside, and that's what the divine feminine energy is all about, is that it's moving away from like the linear mind to a very flowing feminine, that what is within is showing up without, meaning outside of us, showing up in our lives. So let me ask you this question, Linda.
Yes.
What is it that just brings you joy? What do you love to do that brings you joy?
I like to give people massages, foot massages and stuff. And I enjoy using my 0 point energy wands on people. And it's great to just be able to touch somebody because my hands are very sensitive. And um, when I do that, everybody kind of lines up.
Right. There you go. There you go. And so, if that's what you love to do you feel there's anything holding you back at this point? Or obviously you're already doing it and you're getting great response from it. So
But
what?
it's just mostly family and friends. I mean, I don't really charge for it much. And so, you know, I not that I need to do that, but it would just be nice once in a while there'd be, a little more exchange.
Okay. So there you go. So you can declare to your family and friends, I am starting my own practice, and anybody who would like to be a client, this is how you sign up, and it can be so simple. Like in this day and age, you can get a free landing page or whatever. Like if you and actually if you want to set up a business and have that financial exchange for it, then like beginning with friends or family or even asking them to for referrals and such, like that's what you're in you are providing your beautiful energy and a service. And so to balance that out, to feel balanced, because this is what you have asked for, right? You're saying it would be nice to be rewarded financially, like people pay, right? So then
Yes.
so that then that's an energetic exchange, right? Because you
Yes.
are providing a service, and when you go to have a massage or you go to have nails done, like it's just a known that that you're going to pay for it, right? It's a known. And so it's setting it's really becoming clear within yourself that you want to do this as a business, and it's already great that you brought this forward, Linda, and this is why this is so helpful. So thank you for bringing this in, because there may be others who do the same thing. They like spiritual the masteries that we have from all of our lifetimes are coming forward, and some people want to provide that in the world, whether it's locally or to get online and do it online. And there is like if the financial exchange, it's if that's the other part of the equation, then it's it's a natural step. So anything that would be coming from the outside that says, well, I haven't been at this for so long, or there may even be loving family and friends who say, well, you can't do that. You don't have a business name, or you don't have, yet all of that is just, that's old belief systems, right? And you can
Yes.
just move past that, and when you're doing what you love to do, it's like you wake up in the morning and you stretch and you say, wow, today I am going to be moving my energy and I'm going to be expressing who I am. And really we're vessels, right? Like we're consciousness inside of these bodies. So there's divine consciousness moving through us. It's not the person, it's not the human. We are the vessels. So it's the divine that is flowing through us. And
I like
what a
that.
gift, yeah, what a gift that is. And gift in the term, in the meaning of what a beautiful contribution that is to someone else.
Thank you.
Yeah. And how does that make you feel, Linda, to
Well,
be like,
that would be lovely. It's a little complicated because of the logistics of where all my equipment is and stuff. So it isn't as easy as it could be.
okay, and so it can be. It can be. And here's how it can be.
You're cute.
Because you're gonna go in if and just you're gonna like if you want it to be easier, you just go in to your in a meditative space, and you can just go in with that, and you can even do this before you go to bed at night and just say, download all the information when I wake up. I'll unpack it tomorrow. And just like, how does this work? Because Linda, what what your response just was coming from before, because now you're in a different place. You came to this call, you just came with this query, this question about somebody said I should be doing something with children, and yet what do you love to do? And so you've just shifted the energy. And so when you go back inside and you say, well, this I'd like this to work out a little easier for me. I'd like this
Okay.
to be how do I make this easier? How do I make this easier for me and for my clients? And it'll come. The knowing comes. Your soul wants you to know. Your soul, you're here, you have a contribution, and nothing's going to get in your way. You're going to come up with, maybe there's a new way of doing it. Maybe there's a new way of doing it. I'm not even going to bring in suggestions. There was something that just was coming through, and yet what they're really saying is just just ask and see what comes through, because that's also the magic and joy of stepping into what you want to do in your life that resonates with you, not what somebody on the outside is telling you to do. And that when you're in alignment with that and it feels really good and exciting, then everything will come into place. And and again, it's to go inside first and say, okay, what do I need to make this work? And then you may get a download, you may get a knowing of something you have to do, and then all of a sudden somebody synchronistically shows up and says, oh, I have a spot, I have a space, or I have whatever it is. It's all lining up.
Great. Thank you so much. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
both you and Mansa.
Thank you, Linda.
Blessings.
Thank you, blessings, and thank you for bringing your beautiful energy into the world, because every contribution, all of us stepping into our higher purpose, it's aligning the energy so that we're stepping into the seventh golden age. Quick
Blessings.
breath.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Namaste. Thank
Thank
you,
you, Linda.
Mansa.
Much love.
Much
And
love.
Much love.
beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Denise. And yeah, we have a comment from Quinn. I love hug. I love animals. I love kids, draw, music, traveling, plus more. This idea that I need to stay where I am at because of all that is going on this year doesn't at all feel completely authentic. So I've been paying attention to the inner guidance that has been setting me up to prove that idea is in fact not authentic, that I can create new things that has nothing to do with suffocating, but completely my free God sovereign self.
Wow. Quinn, that is absolutely beautiful. Thank you for bringing that in. Thank you. Because that is the outside world noise. That's the chaos. And as you were saying, that if you feel like you are to move somewhere else, that may be your soul and the earth calling you to a certain place, because that's your higher purpose. That's where you're going to contribute from. And no matter what is going on in the earth, um, or excuse me, whatever is going on in the outside world that may seem chaotic, well, perhaps you following for sure, you following your calling is going to shift that energy, because if you stay where you're at, and like you said, that's like it's not a resonant feeling, and it feels very trapped. Then that's the energy you're coming from, and you want to be coming from a higher energy, a higher consciousness. So by letting go of all that outside chaos, I'm trying to think. There was Stefan. I can't think. He had a show on Gaia, and he was traveling around the world in 2020 when the whole earth was locked down, and against all like odds, right, of the outer world of being able to travel and go places, and planes being grounded. He followed his higher purpose because his soul was calling him so strongly. And that's an extreme case, right? Because that was like when the shutdown happened all over the earth. So thank you for bringing that in, because that's very powerful, and there's that way of what's coming in is like the old swimming upstream against the current to 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 get something done. That's a duality concept. The To get it done is to be in the flow, and not even by getting it done, it's more like by being it. And as you're being whatever you're going to be, then the doing, the action part of it just naturally comes, and it's natural, it's in the flow. You don't have to effort, swim upstream against the current to make it happen. That's an old consciousness. Yeah. So thank you, Quinn, for bringing that in.
Yeah, thank you, Quinn, and thank you, Denise. We have a question on YouTube from Rosemary. I am curious to what you describe as a belief, and is there a timeline to follow in guidance? So these are two questions. Maybe if the first one, if what do what do you mean by belief, or how maybe it can affect us? I guess this is what I feel about her first question. I am curious to what you describe as a belief.
As a belief, what I describing as a belief. So, there, when we're growing up and learning in the world, and we're experiencing something in the world, there is almost like a construct. Like a belief is like a construct, and it's interesting, because belief is one of those words where it can have the it can have this side and it can have this side. So it can have the gift and it can have the challenge. And so though so there might you may have a belief within that is that comes from a very divine place. So I'm not sure if this is what you're asking, but this is what's coming through. And then there could be in a belief that is taken on, that is within from the human world and within the human mind. And those belief systems from the human world are those are the things that may come in conflict with what our inner knowing is telling us. When you know something, knowing is wholeness. When you know something, you know it. Like there's nobody can convince you otherwise when it's something that's coming from the heart, because there's the mind, the human mind, and then there's the heart. If you know something in your heart, deep knowing in your heart, then again you get a feeling that it's resonant with you. And so if there is a belief that you have, and you tap in and you say, well, this is what I've been believing my whole life, that somebody told me that I'm really good in math, so I should be an architect. And yet, even though you had that mathematical mind, there was something in you that was saying, I love dancing, and 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 dancing like can be moving numbers as you're moving your body, because numbers make up everything, right? And so when there's a belief system that doesn't resonate with you, then there will be some type of almost like push pull type of energy. But if it feels really resonant with you, and it's something you know from within your heart, again, it's just it's easy, it's smooth, and you just know it, and you can take action on it. So hopefully that answers your question. And then what was the second part, Mansaf?
Is there a timeline to follow in guidance? I understand
Oh,
if we need to be in a timeline to receive the guidance.
oh. So, no, that's more of a part of that linear, that kind of that time construct that we have been involved in, and more of that time construct is collapsing. So people might start noticing like time is going by very quickly. And then when you look back at last week, it seems like it was a year ago. So that the time construct is collapsing. And so mm, it's all in flow. It's all a natural part of your knowing. And then when uh so I guess the answer is there a timeline? That all depends on your own soul and what your soul has for you. And yet it doesn't have to be something that you get in your mind about. Because if we're constantly evolving and we're expanding. And so instead of being on where do I need to be? It's more like, where am I? And what's the next step? And then time collapses. So then you may even, if you think there's something linear that you need to follow to do something, like get a degree in something before you start practicing in a business or whatever, then that is like, okay, that's another 3 years, and then your mind gets involved, and you can actually jump those kind of timelines by following that inner guidance and that inner knowing. So it's we're really deconstructing that linear way of being and being more in the flow, more in that divine feminine flow. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you very much, Denise. And Rosemary, we would love to hear your feedback. You can type it on the chat. Yeah, beautiful. And maybe can we take some minutes also to talk about the program you are offering? You are offering us a 45-minute higher self reading, and it's one-on-one session, and also surrender and allow meditation transmission. And I would like to share the link. So I invite everyone to visit the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/Denise, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Denise, DENISE. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description, and the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. So yeah, Denise, I would love if you can tell us more about this.
Yes. So with the higher self reading, it's you come with whatever a question that you might have, and it's the way that we work. We, meaning my higher self and your higher self and the guides, is that um, the way you receive the answers is what comes through for you. And so in these higher self readings, we're really holding the space, and also there's prompts for you to know, so you can really deepen in that inner knowing. It's not we're not yes, we're bringing through guidance, and yet it's also about tapping into more of what you know, so that you're opening up and you are experiencing more of that guidance from your higher self as well. And then we have within that that what we're offering is a meditation, surrender and allow, and it's a short meditation. It's just very relaxing and flowing to, because when in order to really hear, and we talked about this right at the beginning, the 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 noise the outer world. We do have to retreat from that. We have to step out of that. And when we retreat within and are in our space, and it doesn't always have to be uh, like quiet space. Like you can go in with a question, or you could just sit down and just say, "I'm just turning off the outer world, and I'm just going to tune in," and then you're just silent. You just get in that place of just being silent and just being with your inner self and your guidance. And so this surrender and allow meditation is just also helping you to get into that space of that inner knowing. And yet it's all about, so then once you're in that space more and more where you're tapping into your own inner knowing, and then you're following that when you go out into the world, and the world is the world, everybody is having their own experience. We're not responsible for any of anyone else's experience. We're responsible for ourselves. And when we take back that our sovereignty and really be the best that we can be, then when we go outside in the world, then you start noticing that things are changing. This is the way it works. It's the law. It's the universal laws of that divine feminine of manifestation. So yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Denise. So grateful to you, and really honored to share your work with our audience. Also, thank you for availability with the one-on-one session, and letting the audience to really work with you, because it's an experience that they can go very deep with you and get more clarity, and also more empowerment. And yeah, it's for me. I love the experience with you, and happy to share that here on the show.
Thank
And
you.
also happy
Yeah,
that you added the meditation as well.
thank you.
Like you mentioned, it's we need that to be in that space, because it really allows us to flow more easily with what is meant for us and with life in general.
Yes, yes. And I
Yeah.
I really love being in these sessions because like there's what channels through is just it's so amazing. Like and it nourishes me as well. And the interaction, it's just it's so wonderful. Like that's why I'm here. Like I love I love being on my path and sharing everything that I'm doing on my path. And then so then when we're working one-on-one with someone else, and we're in these higher self sessions, it's just amazing what channels through. Like and when you begin at the beginning of a session, like we are here as well, like you by the end of the session or you're changed, you're shifted, you're evolved because we're constantly evolving. And as we take in more of that that and tap into that inner knowing, then more inspiration comes, more insights come. So it just keeps unfolding and unpacking. So there's this expansion of it as well.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you very much, Denise. And so yeah, again, everyone, I invite you to sign up for this program. And the link is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Denise, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Denise, DENISE. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description, and the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. And yeah, we have some minutes left. Can we take maybe one more question? Denise?
Yes, yes, yes. And also, I wanted to
Yes.
add in just before we take that question that that also this is something that we're doing also in February, but also that um, like really there's going in and there's like being in your own space in your home and yet there's so much nourishment and there's so much connection and helping to open up that guidance by going into nature and being connected to nature. And that's, we're doing a workshop this month on that like you're knowing and how nature helps you connect into that knowing. So really that it's just so nourishing for us. It's grounding and it's very opening, and nature is all about flow. So the more we can get out, get fresh air in our lungs, be connected to the earth and to the trees and to the flowers and all the beings that we can't see, that are there. And then there's this nourishment that's coming from being in the world. So it's not like we have to go into a cave and just be away from the world. Like when you're out in the world and you're living your life, like, and you need a break, it's like just like communing with nature is really, really, really nourishing for also helping your knowing, helping that to connect into that and to get inspiration, to get more insight. So yeah. And then yeah, you have a question, one more question. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Denise. And Tanya, can you please unmute yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Sorry I was late. I will listen to the recording. My question is, since I was a child, I wanted to serve people, help people actually, because I didn't know the word serve. I just wanted to help everyone. So I believe in a way, I help them even now working in a garden center. And but if I would love to help people on a bigger scale, as the lady before said, I have so many interests. I know, being Gemini, I like so many things and I want to know everything and I want to share everything. But I never knew what is my really, the talent that I should pursue and kind of make it the main thing rather than have a little bit of everything, So, I mean,
Yes. Isn't it
it's difficult.
wonderful? Yeah, but isn't it wonderful to have all this? Like we are creator beings, right? So we have so much expression and like, and again, going in and just saying, what is it that's coming now? Because nothing is permanent. So you may have an idea and something that you want to do or are being inspired to do, getting that inner knowing. And you can ask, you could say, I have so many great ideas. I have so many great things that I want to do. And what's the first thing that I should focus on? So you can just go in and ask, because there might be a belief system in the outer world that, well, you have to stay at a job for 30 years to get that gold watch, that gold plated watch or whatever. Like that's a real old paradigm, but it's there may be something, just go in and one of the things that Tanya, because I know we've spoken before, and one of the things that with this having this real creative energy, one of the things is also grounding. So going into nature is also very, very helpful, like doing a nature meditation or sitting by the water or sitting on by a tree or something where and then you go in and so you have that very playful energy. So perhaps even going in and asking your inner child and saying, like, what and I'll just ask you now, what was your favorite thing to do as a child? What did you do that just without abandon and just brought you so much joy?
Well, my teacher used to put me in front of a class to teach a lesson when she had to go to the head teacher. And I don't know why she did it, because she always put me. And I am professional violinist, so and a violin teacher. But I completely now kind of finished my career as a musician, and I work with flowers. I love nature, yes, and I don't spend enough time in the nature as because I moved house and I don't live so close to the nature. But then I really like helping people anyway, if it's elderly, somebody elderly, or even, if I just help them to become happier and, to raise their mood or whatever. So I don't know. I
So
just,
me, okay. Oh, you said it, Tanya. I was waiting for someone to say it. I don't know. Yes, you do. We need to take I don't know out of our vocabulary. Does everybody hear that? If you take one thing away today, it's take out of your vocabulary, I don't know. That is just, it just comes out so like it's a program, right? It's a program. So what you just finished by saying is you love to work with elderly and make them happy. Go ahead and do that. And then if you have another idea and in a year you want to do something else, what is it that you really want to do now? What is it that you really want to do now? And you really just answered that question, right? You love working with the elderly. So that's one option. You've got so many different options, and yet it's just really just homing in and knowing that you know. That's the title of today. It's no, I know that you know. And get out of our vocabulary. I don't know, because that
okay.
and maybe that's even something you can say to your inner self. Like if I say those words, I don't know, ping me, like something will help you to remember that I do know. If I just said I don't know, that means that it's time to go in and find out what do I.
Question.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you spoke, Tanya, because like
I'm
I said,
limiting myself, right? I'm limiting myself saying that I don't know because I should know actually. Yeah, you're
and
right.
get rid of the word should and would out. Well, not would so much, but should, that's another thing, right? It's like there's nothing, our soul is not saying you have to do anything. Our soul's like whatever makes you happiest is that's where we want you to be.
Mm.
So start with the first thing that makes you happy, and if that's working with the elderly, and then when it feels like, I'm just not feeling as much joy in this, then you go, those other like 25, 35 things that I love to do, time to go back in and see where I'm needed next. Then you're
Mm.
in that flow. You're in that flow. Yeah.
Thank you,
So
Denise.
thank you. Thank
Thank you
you,
so much.
Tanya.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
And thank you, myself,
Yeah.
for taking my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Denise. And yeah, thank you very much for all the support and guidance you gave to our audience today. The discussion was also very inspiring. So very grateful to you, Denise.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I love coming here, and Mansef and I we always have a little chat beforehand, and it's just it's feels natural to be here, and and everyone who's drawn to it, and I feel fulfilled. So I'm so grateful. So thank you to you, Mansef, and everyone who's tuning in. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again, Denise. And yeah, thank you everyone for being here with us today, for co-creating with us this experience. Thank you for the questions, the comments, and really your beautiful energies and receiving. Thank you for this from Vivian and hearts from Tanya. And Gloria, thank you all, love and light. And yeah, so with that, everyone, I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye for now.
Bye for now, everyone. Blessings.